We're live. We're
Live.
live. We're live. We're
Live.
live. I am, of course, the richness, the second greatest artist of all time. Next to me is the first. Tony Bourne, the greatest artist ever.
Yeah, okay. Well,
What's
thanks
up, man?
anyway, man. It's always a blast to be here.
I know. Better than dog shit Pop's fucking show.
Is that show even still going?
Yeah, he has an audience of 0.
Mm.
You know, like his penis length. So, you know, I don't give a flying fuck about whether he lives or dies or whatever. I got a new sketchbook.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I promise I am going to start drawing more stuff in here.
What kind of paper?
It's not great paper, but it's not terrible either.
Oh,
It's not great paper, but it's not terrible either. It's just for sketching. You know, just bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I may just change my mind after drawing this for a little bit, and what the fuck else would I would do? I would probably just I may get on another page of Panda Red that I can finish.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I decided to put a page in between. I decided to put a page in between when he leaves his log cabin.
Yeah.
To when he gets to the clearing, and he's like, "Who the fuck are these people on my boardwalk?" You know, so I got to write that in somehow, and I'm going to. But you know what? Yeah, let me do that. You know, I was thinking of drawing a Warhammer thing, but you know what? I'm bored. Fuck Warhammer. I'll do it later. I'll draw it on my way there or whatever the fuck. I don't know. Because I got to go to London tomorrow.
London.
Yeah. What a hard life I have. Oh, man. Tomorrow.
No. Scotland, London.
I know. I have to go to Scotland. Now I'm on my way to London tomorrow. Jesus Christ, what a fucking life I have. Man, I suck. My life sucks today. Oh man. No, but no, you know whose life sucks? My sister. My sister. Do you know why?
No.
Because she has a husband. She has a bigger dick than her husband does.
Oh.
A bigger
What's that
dick
guy
than her
doing?
husband does. What's that guy doing? I have no fucking idea. I don't really care. I'm hoping he dies of AIDS just like his daughter, you know.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't like him or his fucking kid. You know.
You know, it's funny. It was like when he started popping, it was the same time Sam Kinison. So both of them were going about the same time.
Who are you talking about?
What's his name? Fucking, he used to be the big comedian right during Sam Kinison. Oh, what's the
what? Andrew Dice Clay?
Yeah, Andrew Dice Clay.
What about him? Don't tell me he's dead.
No. I was asking. That's who I was talking about. I said, what is that guy doing? That's who I meant.
Andrew Dice Clay?
Yeah, I haven't seen him in quite some time. That's why
I haven't the faintest fucking idea what he's doing. He's probably, I don't know. I mean, he's probably doing some sort of small area circuits or whatever the fuck he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I really honestly don't know what the hell he's doing, to be fair with you.
No, it's understandable. I mean, he has dropped off the face of Earth, which, you know, tends to happen to most people at a certain point, you know?
Well, yeah, I think with him, you know, I don't think he ever really went away per se,
No.
but you know, but it's like at least he's alive, you know.
Yeah.
At least he's alive, and that's a good thing because you know it's. I remember the day that Sam Kinison did die. I was in the middle of cream pieing my Chinese girlfriend.
Oh boy.
And you know, and then I found out, you know, I was watching the TV, you know, when I was getting it from behind. and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden,
what else would you be doing?
I know, right? And I pulled out and I was dumping a load of cum on her face when I heard, "Oh wait, Sam Kinison died. What the fuck?" So I shoved her off the bed. She clacked her head onto the radiator, started crying.
You're like, shut up.
I told her to shut the fuck up, cunt. Sam Kinison died. Then she regained herself. She regained her composure, realized that I was in pain. And she's like, "Oh, baby, I'm sorry," while she's trying to clean the blood off of her temple, but that's all right, though. Now, the truth is that, yeah, that Sam Kinison really jumped into that fucking life.
Yeah.
Really did. He so much did.
Again, Rodney Dangerfield got him going. He was an epic star that was very bright in the constellation, and just all of a sudden he was gone. You're like, fuck, that didn't seem like it lasted that long.
It didn't. He exceeded any type of expectation when it came to any type of fame of any kind and whatnot. He really did, especially for a comedian. I mean, he was the first. I mean, you had Dice. You had Andrew Dice Clay, which is funny because both of them, they really got their start on one of those HBO Rodney Dangerfield comedy specials. I don't know if you probably remember that.
Rodney was showcasing a lot of people that became major talents.
He was, and I remember that. I actually remember that there was a bunch of comedians there.
Always loved Rodney.
There was Barry Sobel, Carol Leifer.
Oh,
I know. Robert Schimmel.
I loved
Sam Kinison and Andrew Dice
Rodney
Clay.
Dangerfield. Rodney Dangerfield was the shit. I remember Sam Kinison, I think it was Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And he was doing 5 minutes. And he said something like, because again, he came from a Christian, religious upbringing, and then
he was a preacher. He was a child
and
preacher.
He goes, and basically, I don't remember the whole joke, but he was pretty much like saying, you know what Jesus Christ's last words were? And the crowd was just waiting. He bends over, takes the microphone, and acts like he's nailing something down, and he starts screaming. I was like, oh my God. But he was fucking crushed. I liked him better than Clay, only because his jokes were just somehow hit just a little bit harder. You know what I mean? Just a little bit more, almost like a fucking gut punch every single time.
They broke taboos.
Yes,
they really just what the fuck did that?
Because it was real safe. TV was, movies and stand up was really safe at the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot of cursing. It wasn't a lot of shit. Yeah. I was watching. There was a clip of Eddie Murphy doing one of his big movies. I can't remember if it was Raw or Delirious.
Oh, God.
And he told a story about Bill Cosby calling him up and saying he shouldn't curse during comedy.
It was Raw.
Okay. And I forgot. Again, you forget. I just remember both movies crushed. I took a date to one movie and we were just fucking laughing our ass off. But he was basically just telling the story about how Bill Cosby was trying to check him because he was cursing all the time. And he was like, well, fuck you. This type of thing. And he went and talked to Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor, tell that motherfucker to suck my dick.
Oh, God, I remember that. That was hilarious. It's like he breaks into his fucking Bill Cosby. It's like, I would like to talk to you.
I talk to you.
Phil. You know what? I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna try and imitate that because I'm just gonna fuck it up. Because it's fucking.
Well, that's what's funny, man. Something's a great comedy when it still holds. I haven't seen that bit in forever, and I was still laughing at it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's genuinely funny.
Yeah.
The situational comedy out of that is just it really is just fucking masterful. It truly
Yep.
is. And you really can't get any better than that. Not really. I mean, a lot of the comedians now are just eh. I mean,
It's
I'm go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, it ebbs and flows like everything else. I think just like how I like heavy music. I had to get more into heavy metal because most of punk is dead. But
Mhm.
it always goes and like I have not seen anybody that wows me in probably about 15 years. Like System of a Down was probably the last band that did wow the fuck out of me. Like I loved all the albums. But
Mhm.
that's almost 20 years old already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think even like comedy, it takes a time before somebody comes up with something that just
Mhm.
fucking crushes, you know?
Yeah, it
Like
is.
you want a guy who had the whole redneck thing, he had the whole redneck
Oh God,
image thing.
Jeff Foxworthy. Yeah.
No.
Oh, Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah, Larry the Cable Guy, which
Oh,
is
good lord.
funny because that was a bit. That was a character he developed. But people
Mhm.
swore he was really like that. He wasn't, you know?
No, he
But
wasn't.
at one point, he was larger than shit, you know? That
Yeah,
guy
I
was
know.
selling out everywhere. And I hope he cashed the fuck in because he was, I mean, it was just weird. And then when you saw him just be his normal self, people were like, wait a minute, you're not that guy? It's like, no, it's a fucking bit, man. It's a character, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think people sometimes lose sight of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do because it's one of those like fan obsessive things where it's like you think you're meeting the person, you think you're meeting the person,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you're actually meeting the persona.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're meeting the persona. You're not really meeting the person, per se. It's weird, but the way that some people think of how some of these actors and performers are supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You
always
know,
find that fascinating because I
yeah,
mean, we all have our favorite actors and actresses and parts and movies and this and that and the other.
mhm, yeah,
But to expect an actor to remember lines from something he shot 3 years earlier, you know,
hmm
after doing other things, other projects, having regular life is kind of a reach, you know?
it is a little bit of a reach. It is. It just is. It's like you don't know how much more a person is going to be able to. I mean, y- after a while, you kind of lose who you are to a mild extent, and you have
Sure.
to continuously do one thing or another. I mean, it's lying for a living for a reason, and
Yeah.
you don't know you don't you lose the blur between how a person is supposed to be and how they actually are, and it's like I think that's why a lot of actors date people who are actors because they're the only ones who are just as fucking crazy as they are.
Yeah. And then they
But
then they then they lose their minds because it doesn't work out because they're both
yeah,
broken people,
exactly.
you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just there's very few people who have the presence of mind, to realize it's like, yeah, I might look like this and I may have this amount of money for the shit that I've done, and for any entertainment that I've dropped and all that. But, I'm still a human being and there's this person here who loves me,
Yeah.
who will get me that mint chocolate ice cream, without any type of gesture at all,
Yep.
or this person who I could just talk to or just, not be this thing that everybody wants me to be. And that's why you have Julia Roberts with a guy with a cameraman named Danny Motor,
Well,
or why Anne Hathaway is hooked up with I think a former doctor, which a
yeah.
doctor to me is a
Yeah.
lot more fucking special than a goddamn actor. I mean,
Sure it
fuck
is.
that nonsense.
I mean, a doctor, even a regular, go-to doctor
Yeah, regular general
changes lives,
practitioner. Yeah, he
Yeah.
does. He does.
But again, it's society. We put emphasis on, beauty and celebrity status. I mean, what was that? Oh, fuck, man. I'm fucking blanking. That Star Trek parody movie where it was Sigourney Weaver was in it. Uh,
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest. The thing I liked about that, besides of just making fun of the whole universe, is that when it starts off, they're at a convention and people come up asking about episode something something, and that happened to Shatner and Nimoy and all these people.
Oh God,
And
yeah.
by the time that shit started clicking, think about it, when in the 80s, when that movie, the first movie and the second movie came out, and they became famous again, that was like 15 plus years since the series,
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
people like, so when the Gorn had you up against the rocks, people are asking that, and God bless them because they're deep in that culture. They love that,
Yeah.
But for the actor, they gotta be like, what the literal fuck? I don't remember. I didn't write it. I spewed out the lines that somebody else wrote.
There was I went to a convention in 2009. It was the Big Apple Comic Con in 2000. I think it was 2009. I'm not sure. I was married to my first wife, and she didn't like that I was there, because I was hanging out with my best friend at the time, Manny, and we went to this convention.
Manny.
Yeah, I know. No, Manny Quinones at one point was one of my best friends. I think he got pissed off at me because I mistook something that he said and he took it the wrong way, and we never healed from that. But I'll always love him. He's the godfather of my daughter, so it doesn't matter. But the point being is that I ran into a bunch of Star Trek actors,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them was who the fuck? What's his name? I'm gonna look on my phone because I'm a chintzy bastard who played Dr. Phlox. Give me a sec. Phlox, fictional character. Played by John Billingsley. Yes, I met John Billingsley at that show.
Okay.
And there was this kid who was like really bothering. He was like, "Hey man, you remember the episode where it was just like, and he's just like, and God bless him. He's trying to do his best. He's trying to be nice.
He's trying. Yeah.
He's trying to be like personable and everything. Because it's like it's a big fucking, it's a big ask. Sometimes when you have to when you have to continuously entertain kids like that, and it's not such a bad thing. It's just that it's just fucking constant, because it's like they have to say, all right, well, yeah, I remember that, Scotty, go warp speed, blah, 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 whatever the fuck, but when I spoke to him, I was just like, hey man, how you doing the show? You enjoying the show? And he's like, you know what? It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's just that I just, there's a couple of things, with the aircon and all that stuff, your casual shit that you were talking about.
Right.
I'm like, well, it is kind of hot enough, and he's like, yeah, I get it. I just wish I can get out of here so I can get a cigarette. I'm just like, well, I can't. I looked at him and I was like, well, two things. I was a smoker at that point. I go, well, I can't really give you one now. We're inside, and fucking Giuliani with all this shit. He's like, yeah, fuck Giuliani. And it was funny because it's like we were just talking like no human being.
Just two regular guys just talking.
Yeah, it was great. I'm like, it's not like I can actually stand here either and pretend I'm John Billingsley. And he's like, no, you cannot. You're handsomer than I am. I go, oh, you're gay. He's like, he's laughing his ass off, and I'm like, why don't you just put up like a sign for like 10, 15 minutes? It's like, I think I'll do that.
Gone fishing.
But I'll talk to gone fishing, for a few minutes. And it was we talked and I was like, does this bother you?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no. But sometimes it just gets to a point where just like I said, like I said to you a minute ago, it's like you're not your own person after a bit. They only talk to you because of this. Yep. Now, even if I was an actor and I did something else, no one would approach me unless they were centered on that particular genre of entertainment that I was doing. Yep. I happen to do the Star Trek thing, and I'm like, do you like the fact that
honestly is like a lottery? It's like a lottery to get the gig.
Oh, it is. It is.
And then you're it for a conceivably long time.
You are. You actually are. It's not just that. It's not only that. It's just the fact that you do.
Yeah.
people's lives,
Sure. It has an impact.
it does have an impact. It really does have an impact. And the fact of the matter is that it having an impact, I mean, there are people whose lives are changed because of a scripted heroic act, or a scene of tolerance, or one choice. I mean, I actually really liked the character of Dr. Phlox because he could have changed the evolutionary course of a planet, but did
Which
not.
I'm forgetting which series was
Enterprise,
that?
the
Was
first
in
Enterprise, like
right.
the
Got
prequel.
Bakula one.
Yeah, the Scott
Yeah.
Bakula one. Yeah, and that one, with that one, there were two species. One of them was the mink, and the other one was another more advanced species. I don't know who the fuck it was. But it turns out that the mink were the retards of the planet, right? But they were becoming unretarded. They were becoming smarter, whereas the smart species was going to die out in a couple of generations, and that would have been it. That's it. Because then you'd have the mink running around all over the place, being not so bright. But I mean, the dominant species, they'd be dead. They were dying. There was an incurable disease that was going to wipe out their whole fucking genome, and that's like, well, that sucks, But that's just how the evolutionary cookie crumbles, I guess. I don't know, but and this was like a precursor to the Prime Directive.
Right.
It's like, what do we do here? I mean,
yeah,
we're talking about a race of a few 100 million living beings.
Yeah.
And they're going to die. They're going to fucking die. What do we do?
Do we help them out, or we just sit on the sidelines? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it turns out that one of the things that Captain Archer wanted Phlox to do was to find a cure, for whatever disease was ailing them, right? And it was Dr. Phlox who discovered that what was going on with them was an evolutionary change.
Oh shit.
That species, the dominant species was, in fact, if not in a couple of generations, in like maybe 6 or 7, were going to die out. They were going to die out, and that's it.
So that's pretty much a play on human existence from the Homo sapiens, from Homo erectus, and all the ones before us.
Exactly. Yeah. The Denisovans, the Neanderthals. That point was brought up, actually. He's like, what if an alien species went back in time and decided to give an evolutionary advantage to the Neanderthals?
Yeah.
What the fuck? You change the course of you change the course of everything when you do that. You change the course of absolutely everything when you do that. And Captain Archer was just like, he's like, yeah, but we just can't stand by and let people die. And then Phlox was like, well, that's why I also found a cure.
That's an interesting dilemma. That's an interesting fucking dilemma. Yeah.
Because he found what was going on with them. He found it. And all they had to do was just administer a certain amount of chemicals, and that would have been it. That would have been it. The mink would probably not flourish to who they're supposed to be, and
it would have changed the whole evolutionary.
It would have changed the evolutionary change of that planet. And
wow,
yeah, it was a fantastic episode because and that was also a thing about like tolerance and all that shit too.
Sure.
Because you see, for Denobulans are all about that fucking polyamory shit. Like Phlox has 3 wives, and Phlox's 3 wives have 3 husbands, and so on and so forth. And there's another episode on that one which is really fucking cheeky, but I'll tell you that one in a minute. But there was a crewman, I forgot her name. She was kind of hot, and she was always hanging around with Phlox and everything. And she goes, "Hey, Phlox, is it true that what is it with you and your wives?" And Phlox, I'm paraphrasing. And Phlox is like, "Well, I have 3 wives, and my 3 wives have 3 husbands, and so on and so forth. We just feel our love is shared." So she plants a fucking kiss on this guy, and she's like, "I think I want to explore that," or some shit like that. And then she walks away with She walks away with her apple bottom jeans and shit. Like, back. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm going to put my denobular dick in your earth pussy. Yeah. Holy shit. I was like, Phlox got the shit going. Boy, yeah. I was like, go get him, Phlox, you nasty fuck. You know, we didn't see that episode because,
Right.
you know, that's more for the bang bus, you know, but whatever the fuck it is. But man, Phlox could have like plowed some earth pussy, you know, because he could. He loves Chinese food too, by the way, which is I love that. Phlox is my favorite character on that show. But,
I wasn't a big fan of Enterprise because I wasn't a Scott Bakula fan, so it was a hard start to get go.
Is okay. He's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah,
he's almost too perfect.
I did like how they kind of went with some of the storylines, especially the last 2 seasons, because they kind of did their own 9/11 thing.
Yes, that was crazy.
I didn't like the weird aliens though. I thought that was really bizarre because it was like, why would all these regardless. But we went back to iconic characters or actors performing, right? Mm-hmm. So I liked on Instagram a video clip, right? One of my favorite video clips. I liked it. Since then, I've seen it pop up about 6 times, right?
Okay.
And it's Blade Runner, which for me was iconic back in the day because it was like a living, breathing Mobius fucking movie.
Yeah.
Love that movie. The Rutger Hauer Roy Batty final scene, his little speech at the end, right? Yeah. Tears in the Rain story. Mm-hmm. And it always hit hard for me. I was like, wow, that's just an amazing piece of, you know, writing and everything else. Then it comes to find out, like, you know, 20 years later that the script was something completely different. You know, originally he's supposed to do, you know, kind of like Short Circuit kind of thing where he's gobbledygook, whatever. Mm-hmm. And a day or 2 before the shoot, Rutger Hauer was looking at the script, not happy with it. Came up with that whole story, that whole endpoint, that whole monologue.
Excellent.
He threw some shit together from personal shit, threw it together, pitched to fucking Ridley Scott. And Scott's one of those guys, he's all about the visual. He don't care about the story. He's like, okay, whatever, sounds good. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
They fucking shot it. The crew fucking applauded at the end of that.
Wow.
And that became his legend, his go-to. Because the fucking guy died. The actor died the same year the character died. In 2019.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow. But it became a thing that followed him, and he was happy to acknowledge it, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's one of those times when it's a perfect storm where an actor brings something, the movie does whatever it does, because no one knew at the time. The movie basically failed when it came out because it didn't make a lot of money because it was different. But it's become an iconic movie, a go-to iconic movie.
Yeah.
And you sit there and go, wow, it's just amazing that sometimes that one thing hits and you had no idea that it was going to be that big, you know?
Yeah.
And the other thing, when we were talking about actors and this, that, and the other, one of the New York Comic Cons I was doing, I had a table at. And the thing I always hated, when you had to go to the bathroom, was always like a half an hour to go and wait online, that type of shit. So I walk over, you know, buddy of mine's still manning the table. So I walk over and get online. Who's in front of me?
Who?
Actor Richard Hatch, the original Starbuck.
God.
Original Apollo from the original Battlestar, right?
Yeah.
Got a rebirth in the 2003 reimagined Battlestar. He was great on that. Yeah. Played a different character, but he was fantastic on it. Standing dead in front of me, right?
Cool.
Now, I've always, you know, growing up in the city, whatever, going to school in Manhattan, I've been around celebrities before.
Yeah.
I don't geek out, but at the same time, I was like, kind of cool, right? Then I had a joke to myself, right? I said, no, I'm going to fucking get the stall rat next to him and start asking him questions about Battlestar.
Oh my God.
Just to be that guy.
That poor man. Oh, dude.
I was toying with that in my head because I said, what would be the most cringiest thing I can do to this actor? You know, most time if I ever see somebody who I actually liked, like I ran into Andre Brower before he died in.
Holy shit.
I used to run into him in South Orange. He lived somewhere close to South Orange, New Jersey. I used to run into him in the street, just turn a corner. He was just carrying bagels or some shit.
Holy fuck.
So I give him the whole head nod thing. And I always say, hey, if I ever did say anything, I'd say, hey, I love your work. Just leave it at that. Mm-hmm. Not geek out like, oh, you know, when you were on Homicide, episode 6, you know, no. Because I always want to be the opposite guy than that guy, you know? But I always thought the Richard Hatch thing would have been fucking, that would have been epic, you know?
Man, I wish I was there to see that. I would have just watched you just like geek out on this poor bastard.
And he was trying not to be noticed, you know? He had a camouflage jacket on. He was kind of just trying to be invisible. Because again, we're both waiting and 15 people in front of us. I said, what if I just make it uncomfortable? Like lean up against him or wait right behind him.
Oh my God.
He's peeing like, like, hey, Apollo, when you were on the original show, go back to like the 70s and shit, you know, when you were on the original show, when, you know, the long green, did his breath stink? What?
Oh my God.
That was fun.
Oh my God. Did his bread stink? What? I want to know. You gotta tell me.
You want to know? Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's a debate online. We were trying to figure out the other day, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, who had the tighter pussy? The person oh my God. Oh my God, man. That's crazy. That's funny. I like that.
There's times you can have fun with shit. Like when I was at the Limelight, Ice-T came there twice. Like one time he played with Body Count, right when Body Count came out, and there was all this controversy because of that song Cop Killer.
Yeah.
So I worked the stage for that. But one time he just came, I think he came there after that, just to hang out, whatever the fuck. So him and his entourage. So I'm working outside with a bunch of guys. So there was like 3 steps to go inside. So the manager's, you know, trying to give him drink tickets, all this bullshit.
Yeah.
And he looks at me and I said, T, when is the next Body Count album coming out?
Yeah.
He stopped, started talking to me about the album. And he was proud. He was proud of it coming out. And he just started talking about it. I didn't really care. I wanted to throw something different than just like, oh, dude, you're so cool, you know? So he sat there and talked to me like a fan, like somebody actually, he's happy about his art that he's got coming out. And I was like, okay, I appreciate that, you know?
Nice, man. That's fucking awesome. I saw Body Count at L'Amour's.
L'Amour's,
the rock capital of Brooklyn. Damn. It was what happened there. I made out with there was this chick. There was this all chick band named Misdemeanor. You know, that's a clever. That's so
80s. Oh my God,
it's
so
very 80s. Well, this is like
that's
in the.
So fucking.
This is like I think this was in late 80s, early 90s, or some shit. I wound up making out with the fucking bass player. You know, she was fucking tipsy and everything, but she thought I was attractive for some, I guess, because of the inebriation. So we wind up making. I didn't fuck her, which is a shame, because I would have been like, "Hey, fuck the musician, Dad."
You could add a story. Yeah.
I know I could add a story,
or
there.
You could have ended up being a song.
I wasn't dating anybody. I know it's like scumbag motherfucker.
Scumbag never called me again.
Scumbag never called me. I would have loved that shit. That was fucking. Oh man. Oh, look what I got. I got another page of Panda Red. Took me about fucking 30 minutes. Let me pull out something I never usually say.
Oh, no.
Here you go. I don't know if you can see that from here, but if I bring the camera up there. Those are the 3 pigs that he sees in the distance, as you can tell.
I love how you're doing. I love how you're doing this because you were intentionally making it look like a children's book.
Yeah,
which is to me just brilliant.
I love it. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be some. It's
The
going to
hat,
be.
the ears coming through the top. I mean, that's fucking.
Yep. It's all nice and charming and everything. Da, da, da. I even have. I mean, I'm not illustrating everything the whole way through. I'm going to use for some of the background here. I'm just going to use different colors and all that as like borders and what. And then
Gotcha.
I'll ink these very lightly, and then I'll really put these pronounced over here. You know, because that's how I want it. And I do all the inking digitally anyway. You know, that's just how I'm doing it now. You know, I may ink these things like at some point or another, but no, this is not bad. Pretty fucking good. I even redesigned two of the two big pandas at the end, Balak and Caleb. You know, the two leaders of the organization. Oh, what the fuck is that? Half Moon. You know, that's the name of the crew that they're assassins and shit. You know, but it looks like what's going to happen is that I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them. You know, he's going to do a couple of more hits. You know, and then that's going to be it. But then unfortunately, towards the end, like the end of the third book or the fourth book, depending on how I feel about it, he goes, "Have we finished?" Panda Red's like, "Have we finished now?" He goes, "Yeah, well, we have one more." And he's like,
"Just more."
That's weird because I thought we already figured out, you know, I thought we already finished that. And then all of a sudden, people are going to start fucking showing up to try and kill him. And it's like, well, no. You know, so Panda Red's going to be betrayed by the people who he's known all his life since he was a child. This is the way. No, wait a minute. That's Mandalorian. Fuck that. No. This is the way, motherfucker. This is the way, motherfucker. Oh, man.
You see, you saw what they did with the, I think we might have talked about it last time, the Strange New World with the puppets.
Yeah, man. Dude, do you remember the Muppet Show, right?
Yeah.
Why couldn't they do a fucking crossover with Swine Trek?
I don't know.
Fucking Link Heartthrob.
I don't know.
And then
man.
first mate Miss Piggy. Why couldn't they fucking do that?
Because
like they
have no talent. They have no talent. No...
Oh God. Why couldn't they do that? That would have been ultimate.
It's a failing series, right? They've lost their direction a long time ago. I think I watched the first season and a half, right?
Yeah.
The thing initially bothered me was that, like every other Star Trek, it has too many characters, right? So you barely spend time with the captain, right? To me, it's always got based around the captain, one way or the other. The captain and the closest. You go back to the original, right? The original was basically Spock, Kirk, and Bones. Yeah. And then everybody played off of that. So, first season was okay. Still trying to find its way, whatever. Dude, I think it was second season, the wheels started coming off big time. And I was like, okay, I just don't care. And then apparently they had one that everybody was singing. I'm like, oh, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
It became gimmick. And the problem with that, and I think Drinker mentioned it, that Star Trek was always one of the few shows that always had to be based in science because it's Star Trek. The whole point.
It was based on hard science. That's what
right. Hard science had something to do with science, and to get into everything about gimmicks. Like apparently they had a Casablanca episode, which had no fucking purpose. Then they had this one of Muppets that is a fucking transporter malfunction, and somehow the crew, with the exception of Spock, are turned into Muppets. What the flying fuck?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
This is the series. I mean, think about it. This is the legacy of Mirror Mirror, which had another transporter error. Even like that bad late season one when there was two Kirks running around. All those were based off of transporter errors. Drinking mentioned the one that was in Star Trek the movie where they had a transporter accident. Two people were torn apart right on the pad.
Yeah,
So
that's fucked up.
you go from all that shit to puppets, really?
Yeah, I know. It's a little bit off. You know, I mean, well, you know, there was someone put up a defense of that. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, Star Trek had tribbles at one point.
Yeah.
They were on planets where there were where the inhabitants were
Right.
of 1920s of gangsters. Like that's
Right.
just who they were. There was another a humanoid species who somehow managed to acquire television signals from the 1950s when they had westerns, and everyone on that planet,
Yeah.
you know, they decided to be evolved to be fucking, you know, cowboys and shit.
But you know what
You
that
know,
was, though? I mean, you really think about it. That was basically Desilu trying to save money by using costumes from the fucking costume wardrobe department,
yeah, why
and
not?
then just writing an episode around that. But each one of those had a rationale for what it was. You
Yeah,
know,
that's true.
look,
That is true.
trust me, I was never a fan of Vic Tayback for some reason. So that whole gangster episode was the Roaring Twenties, the piece of the action. But again,
Yeah, with them heaters. I remember that
it goes back
episode.
to that thing where you talked about with Phlox and the um, Prime Directive. All those episodes, the Prime Directive was fucked with, and this was the result. Again, it was
Yeah.
based on science, you know? So,
You know what? That's really fucking true.
yeah,
I never saw it that way. Nice job, man. I didn't
yeah,
fucking see it that way.
I was going to spend a lot of thinking about
I
this.
never put two and two together on that one. Good job. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
And that's always the thing. I mean, if you create a universe and then have certain universal rules and then you bend them or break them and then have repercussions of it, it's a perfect example. I just do the 388, all this shit. The story just ended last weekend, right? So this one fan commented on the storyline because I ended the storyline where the main character earlier on had a moral decision, right?
Yeah.
His commander that he was assigned to pretty much murdered a whole bunch of civilians just for the fuck of it.
Jesus. Yeah. That's not
And
good.
I explored the commander's point of view and then the main character's point of view. And at the end of the story, he pretty much says, because he's thinking to himself, it's like, it's kind of pointless. Now, this is a different universe than one we're living in. It's kind of pointless to report murders in the middle of a war. You know, no one's going to spend any time investigating this. No, because in this universe, is basically two giant fascist armies are fighting World War II on a higher level. So it's pretty much World War III. So there's thousands dying per day. Nobody gives a fucking fuck about 8 civilians. You know what I mean?
That's.
And I had that come up in the story, and this guy wrote about a paragraph talking about that. He goes, "It's very fascinating what you brought up there." I said, "It's just something that floated in my head." So whenever you create a story, you create a universe, you create certain guides in the story, right?
Yeah.
You know, you can have playing with that, you know?
Yeah.
Bending it, breaking it, exploring, you know, ramifications of it. And I mentioned to him, I wrote back, I said, I think part of it I thought about was that I remember stories of World War II where we were supposed to be the good guys, but there was times that I remember stories of, I think it was, what the hell was that guy's name? Oh, fuck.
Patton.
He was a 60s, 70s actor. He played
George C. Scott?
He played the dad on Rescue Me.
Charles
Durning, right?
Yeah, Charles Durning. I know who he is.
He was a World War II soldier. He fought in Germany. Apparently, when he was younger, he got into a fucking fight with a couple of Germans and killed one for rock.
Holy shit!
I watched the story when
Oh my god!
yeah, one of the few times I saw him in the story, and he was talking about in an interview. He was talking about his experience in World War II, and he kind of mentioned that there was times that they were told to take the prisoners in the wood line and just take care of them. You know,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
so here we are supposed to be the good guys,
Mm.
and we're knocking off unarmed prisoners.
Oh my god!
But again,
I can't imagine that choice.
yeah, but
I
again,
cannot imagine that fucking choice.
World War II
Christ.
in the context of World War II,
Mhm.
you're a 19, 20-year-old in Germany, right?
Yeah.
You don't know when this shit's going to end. And the fact that you're fighting against an army who regularly kills prisoners.
Oh god.
So why wouldn't you just fuck it,
Yeah.
full send it? Now, the official doctrine would have been like, no, every prisoner, you got to take care of every prisoner. But reality, they probably fucking gadded people left and right,
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Jesus.
So,
God.
yeah,
So
that's part
that's
of
the
what
best that I can see it.
yeah, I mean, that was part of what I was playing with in the storyline. Because
Oh
I
man.
just wanted to show the difference in thought processes,
It's a brilliant thought process, man. It really is. I mean, you hit that home. Jesus, dude. I mean,
I try.
I'm
Sometimes.
not amazed. I'm completely impressed by the way you just did that. Nicely done. Nicely fucking done, dude. I'm not amazed because I know you're capable of it, but
Yeah.
I didn't fucking see it from anywhere along that point of view. Also, that's a very sanguine and solid thing that you mentioned. That's fucking crazy, dude. Congratulations. That's a nice fucking triumph by just declaring that. I like that, man. You're a good writer. You're a good
I
writer.
try very hard to put stuff in there that I think that would interest me if I read it,
Yeah.
Because to me, it's nothing better when you watch something and you're wowed by the storyline, or something about the story fucking hits you. You're like, that's fucking deep. I like that. Because there's nothing worse when shit's phoned in or it's some kind of same bullshit trope that you've seen a million times,
Yeah, I know. It does blow after a bit. You have to admit some of these things are just so goddamn stupid after a while. They really are.
yeah.
They are, so some of them are just so bad. I mean, I would have liked to have watched that Muppet episode, if only to be like, are Statler and Waldorf gonna fucking beam on and go, oh, this show really sucks, just something like that.
Yeah.
It's like,
No,
maybe
you're
they
right.
want to beam themselves up the ass. Oh, just something really terrible. I would have loved to have seen.
It's
shit
also
like that.
like when they play games of stuff and you're like, okay, I don't understand how this fits in the universe. I can't remember if it was first season or second season, The Strange New Worlds, they reconnected with the Gorn, right? So the Gorn from, I think it was Arena from the first series, original Star Trek, where Kirk is fighting that lizard guy on the planet.
Yeah.
But what they did was they changed them into these, again, they were CG characters. It wasn't a guy in a rubber suit, so CG characters running around. But they're closer to almost like aliens.
Yeah, I thought that was fucking hot, where it's like they leave babies in you.
Yeah. So
and then you die. Oh, God.
If you think about it now, again, I'm sure there's plenty of Star Trek purists that were all over the fucking map on this. If this shit happened before the original Star Trek, how do you explain the difference physically?
You see, I think maybe on my end, I would think that the writers had a little bit of liberty when it came to retconning a little bit of some of the species over there. I mean,
Sure.
they made the Klingons, they were pretty much faithful with on that show, Strange New Worlds. They were pretty much faithful on that. Not too much, but they were still mostly faithful to how they look and all that stuff. What they should have done was they should have put some well, what they should have done was just put the Klingon. I mean, in my opinion, now that I think about it more, they should have just put the Klingons without the fucking ridges on their face.
Yeah, they should be out.
That was
in that timeline. That's what they look like.
Exactly, and one of the most. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go for it.
The most impressive Star Trek Enterprise episode set I've ever seen was how they explained away how Klingons look like regular humans. And that was so the way that they tried to do something with the augment genes and then they couldn't, and it just made them human. Holy fucking shit. That was the most ingenious way.
When was that?
Oh God, what was the name of it? Fuck. Oh God, give me a second. I'm gonna look it up for a second. Star Trek
Because I
Enterprise.
was thinking about the Deep Space Nine episode where they went back for some reason. It was I can't remember all the details, but they went back in time, and they were able to put the current cast from Deep Space Nine in the Trouble with Tribbles episode.
Yeah,
from the original show.
They did.
And one of the jokes, shots or conversations that they threw out there was when the crew saw what the Klingons look like in that timeline, and they looked at Worf, and like, Worf, what's going on? Those are Klingons? And he goes, we don't talk about it. That was the line. I was like, that is a brilliant fix. That's a brilliant fix that you don't have to try to figure out why the Klingons from that time period look like humans or like Mongolians, dark Mongolians for some reason, compared to, what Worf looked like with the ridges he had on his head, And I thought it was a brilliant fucking fix on a brilliant episode because they spliced that one pretty fucking amazing,
The one that I just found again.
Go ahead.
No, you first, man. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No, there's nothing to be sorry about, man. I'm just running off at the mouth. Go ahead.
I found the episodes that I was talking about where first it was called, the first one, it was in season 4, episode 15. It was called Affliction, which there was this disease that was affecting the Klingon Empire, and the only physician willing to do anything about it, or unwillingly, was Dr. Phlox. So the Klingons, instead of asking nicely, decided to capture him and fucking bring him to the Klingon homeworld and say, "You will have to you will fix this. You were in charge. You were in charge of taking care of some of the augments DNA. You're going to solve this issue before we have to destroy a Klingon outpost with 2 million of our brothers and sisters." And Phlox is like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And he goes, and the doctor there was like, "Well, we saw we from the corpses that we recovered, we found some augment DNA, and the Klingons wanted to make some augments of their own, but evidently we're not as smart as you human peoples, or at least back then, and a terrible flaw was in the formula or the genetic makeup, and it turned all of us into humans, weakling humans, and all of our ridges on our faces were gone." Wow. And they were not pleased. They were not fucking pleased. And the main Klingon on that show was played by James Avery, the uncle on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That's funny.
Towering fucking man.
Yeah.
He's like, "You're all Klingons at heart." And I'm like, Jesus fuck, are you gonna say this to Will Smith if he fucks up again? It's like, dude. So what happens is that they it turns out the Klingons, during what was it earlier? Yeah, it was what was it called? There was a 3-episode arc. It started with an episode called Borderland, and then Cold Station 12, and then the Augments. Okay, now those 3 episodes, it turns out that the researcher who developed the augmented gene was Dr. Arik A-R-I-K Soong. Now, if you know anything about Data, Dr. Noonien Soong was who created Data. It turns out the Soong family are a bunch of scheming fucking Dr. Frankenstein clones, because it's just like it was like right around the early 22nd century. This Arik Soong decided, hey, I think I want to make humanity better than it is. So, and he was brilliant, so he wound up doing it. But for some reason, he couldn't get rid of that naughty little aggressive gene, which gives every single one of those augments, delusions of grandeur. Like Khan.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
fuck me. This is you're developing a fucking population of Khans running around. God damn.
God.
I know. Khan. And the episode, I remember it vividly. The episode shows up where it's like there's a Klingon battle cruiser that's just flying around. And it notices a ship that's fucking has a distress call, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like a Terran vessel. So it was like the main Klingon was like, bring a tractor beam and have it brought to the docking post. And then we will take all of their supplies and kill them all. So there's like fucking 5 or 6 big ass Klingon soldiers behind these 2 humans who, evidently they don't know how to sew because their clothes are torn in the most spectacular way. They look like they came out of a really dirty aerobics class. You know what I mean? It's like they had like the half shirt, the rippling abs, but the small arms and shit, because people in aerobics are pussies. Especially when they flex, it's like, look how big my arms are. I go, no, my dick is thicker than your fucking arm there, pal. But what happened was that the augments, the humans who they were stoic, they didn't do shit. And they're walking, they have like 4 armed Klingons behind them with these big ass disruptors, right? And so they're brought to the bridge, and there's 2 Klingon captains there. No, wait, no, that's a little bit later. They stop. And they're like, walk. So 2 of the guards from behind, they come across in the front, and they take the guns and they shove it into their fucking diaphragm, thinking they're gonna collapse. They go, walk, human. And it's like the fucking, he doesn't move. Not like the human that's hit, he doesn't move. Now, we're talking about a gut shot from a fucking Klingon. With a disruptor rifle.
Right.
Fuck you, Jim O'Reilly. So they're like looking and they're like, huh? Why did he double over? So the little Chinese guy and the littler blonde guy start wailing on these fucking Klingons, and like one punch kills one. Like the little Chinese dude clocks this fucking Klingon in the chest. You could hear his bones break, and he flies back about 100 feet. And then the other guys, they're killing him. It's these 2 little fucking augment human dudes wreaking havoc on beefy big fucking Klingons who you put them in a room of 100 librarians. There's going to be no librarians left in about 3 minutes. That's it. Done. So anyway, they wind up taking some of the disruptors. They go up to the bridge. They kill. Were I mad? No, I love you, Jim O'Reilly. As a matter of fact, I wish you would come.
Oh, God.
Come onto the show. That someone hit one of your own. Jim O'Reilly, there is your invite. Sexy man. Take it. You're allowed. You're allowed. Anyway, so what happens is that fucking, and it turned, and that was like the precursor to why they have a whole, and why they have a whole bunch of fucking, embryos and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out that, that whole augment thing was something that was produced by the Soongs from a long time ago, from like the 1990s in that universe, because of the eugenics wars.
Right.
And that's when Khan was brought to justice and shit. And they launched, for some reason, they decided to launch all of his fucking superhuman Khan people into space. That was the Botany Bay. That's when Kirk found them and blah, 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 and all that shit. But they didn't know where the fucking Botany Bay was. They just happened to there was, a lot of those augments, they were stranded on a planet. So instead of being let's make a race of Khan people and live on our planet, okay? It's like, nah, I think we're just going to fucking conquer a whole fucking planet. Con!
What they did. I mean, that's in pretty ingenious. Again, that's very creative storytelling, So they're taking something, building on it,
Yeah.
building a backstory to it to explain. See, I think that's a lot of times these shows that they'll start off with fans or people that want to advance the show. They want to add something to the genome of the show. And then at some point they put on somebody that has a different idea or no idea, which is even worse. I mean, you look at what Marvel did with the She-Hulk, I mean, that was run by people that didn't care about the storyline, didn't care about the characters, didn't care about the history,
Yeah, exactly.
And it shows, because again, they don't care if they piss off the fan base. Meanwhile, the fan base is the fan base, And I think what's been going on in the last few years with Hollywood, especially, is that they keep thinking that if they change an IP, Doctor Who, Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever, they'll all of a sudden they'll get a new fan base that they never had before, And instead of worrying about just creating a decent story, which will attract, new people, they try to tailor it, and it doesn't work. It hasn't worked yet. I mean, how many legacy shows or movies have they wrecked so far?
Enough.
Yeah.
Enough. I mean, they made I didn't like the whole bi-generation thing from fucking Doctor Who. I thought it was rather stupid.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the latest Doctor Who. I didn't like the last 3 Doctor Who's.
I stopped watching at some point, bro.
I stopped watching after I stopped watching after the first season of Matt Smith.
Ooh. Okay, Matt Smith, right. So
he was the 11th Doctor.
Tennant and Matt Smith? Or
Tennant,
Matt Smith and Tennant. I can't remember which one.
Eccleston was the 9th.
Right. Eccleston was the blonde guy. It was one season, right?
Yeah, he didn't like the direction the show was going, and he wanted out. So it's like, okay. And then
but he was good.
Tennant,
he brought me back.
Good.
He brought me back. He brought me back into Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, I agree. He was very good Doctor Who. And
I like those 3 Doctor Who's. They had 3 decent ones. I love that last thing Tennant said. It was like, I don't want to go. I think it was.
Yeah.
I mean, that again was brilliant, But I like those 3, and then at some point, right after the last that last 3, they changed again. I was like, I just don't care. I just don't fucking care,
I didn't like. You know what I think it is? I think it was the writing. It was the writing that was the worst. I mean, the Ncuti Gatwa, I like as an actor. Ncuti Gatwa, I like as an actor. He was the last Doctor. He was the 13th. I liked. Well, he was the 15th actually. He was the 15th Doctor.
It goes back to story,
Yeah, the stories were fucking terrible. The stories were stupid.
That's what kills it.
They were bad. The stories were just bad as fuck. They really were.
About a message, or they wanted to express a different thing.
Yeah.
How about just tell a fucking story? Have a guy in a fucking phone booth, a call box, saving the universe. That's all we care about.
See, the one thing that I can't stand about a lot of writers these days is that a lot of them have soapboxes, and they feel that they could take things that bothered them when they were younger and then bring them to the forefront. And instead of actually like fighting for actual justice, what they do is they just shove things in people's faces. And the biggest gripe that I feel is that every single thing needs to be rushed. It's like, accept us.
Yeah.
Or you're a fucking bigot, or you're a racist, or you're an anti-Semite, or you're one of these fucking things. And that's just clearly not the case. Because 99, I'd like to think that 90% of the people on this planet are not assholes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but when you take something that is fundamentally and genetically correct,
Right.
like transgender, the people who are transgender, the people who identify as a different gender within their hearts and minds. You know what? Good. Okay, that's fine. Don't be a piece of shit to anyone, and I don't care what you call yourself. Call yourself Popcorn Beeblebrox. I don't give a shit what you do.
Like, exactly. I mean, when it becomes the character who's already been established, it's been established for
Yeah.
fucking 60 years, right?
Oh yeah,
When
absolutely.
it becomes all about their sexuality, I don't care what it is, gay, straight, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't give a
But
fuck
when
either.
it becomes more about that, and then instead of the character saving universe,
Yeah,
I just don't give a fuck. You know?
yeah, because
Now, they made him the way he was. Didn't care. Just like how they had that short series, I can't remember the series, Captain Jack. I watched that a few times. Got into
Yeah.
it was different. Still that same universe. But when it became more about his sexuality, which I didn't give a fuck. If he was straight, I wouldn't have gave a fuck. You know? I just don't care. I want to see them figure out how to stop the fucking Daleks. That's what I want to see, you know?
yeah, stop the Daleks. I don't want to see you sucking dick.
Stop
Stop the
stop
fucking
Cybermen.
Daleks.
See shit like that. Not, oh look, we have our first transgender villain. Who the fuck cares?
Dude, you know why
No.
those Daleks had those little handlebars on their heads?
Why?
You know why? Because a lot of those Cybermen were actually chicks, You know, but that's the weird thing because you can't. I mean, they're in those fucking Iron Man outfits, those cheesy the Temu Iron Man outfits, and you don't know if they're like chicks or dudes.
Dude,
But
funny.
they
It's
must
like,
have some serious oral game if you're gonna
I-
try and
I
hold
did-
their fucking heads down.
I didn't discover Doctor Who until it was the what's this
Tom Baker,
Baker, right?
Yeah.
It was replaying on one of Long Island PBS channels, and I was able to catch the signal, and I was like, what the fuck is this? That's what got me into Doctor Who. But
Yeah.
when you saw like the old black and white movies from the like 60s and you see a Dalek running around or a Cyberman walking around, you're like, holy shit, man, it's like 1962 and this character's running around, and like, this is crazy, you know?
That's crazy. I love the Daleks, because you see the Daleks for a long time, it looked like they were just comedy relief,
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden they developed the ability to levitate.
Yeah.
It's like elevate, and all of a sudden they start fucking hovering, and they're like climbing the stairs that you're like, haha, we got away from the Daleks. We're on the first floor. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh fuck, they can fly! Ah!
They brought it back, and I remember it was one that was running around kind of industrial site, and just like you said, all of a sudden he hovers up the staircase. I was like, oh my god, this is fucking bad. And they couldn't stop him. Nobody, like all the weapons they had, nothing was stopping this thing. I'm like, yeah, it's a fucking tank or a fucking death ray. One track mind.
There's nothing better than a fucking death ray.
Yeah.
A death ray on a tank.
Yeah, a death ray
on that nonsense. You got to bring that.
No compassion whatsoever.
I love that stuff. I do. And you have stuff like that. And what Jim O'Reilly said was right. There's hardly anything original anymore. Or even if there is anything remotely original, what happens is that there is some sort of stupid message behind it. I mean, we talked about this before with the writer of She-Hulk, the TV show. Completely obliterated the fucking origin story. Actually would have been a lot more compelling.
She couldn't be dependent on Bruce Banner,
in any way whatsoever. She had to be queen. Because she's like the girl, and that's it. Because girls get it done. Shit like that. Jesus. I'm just like, I mean, honey, you're a stupid Chinese girl who can't write. So shut the fuck up. suck some dick.
And you're just see, that's what's funny, right? So again, looking at your customer
base. All she is, man.
When you were trying to do this girl power thing on top of the billion other things that are doing girl power at the same time, trying to attract a fan base that, look, comic books, sci-fi, I don't know what the the numbers are, but it's still predominantly male orientated, right? I get that you're trying to develop a character. How about do something slightly different than everybody else? You know, because the fun part of watching a character go through a journey is to have struggle, have self-doubt, have confusion, you know, where they have to dig deep to figure it out. When the person is like this unstoppable fucking force as the main character, what's the point? You know, what's the point? There's no threat, there's no risk, you know. And all these stupid shows. And again, when you have people, it's kind of like what was that? I forgot the director that did one of the early '90s Batman. I think it was Batman and Robin, where he gave Batman's suit like nipples or some shit.
Oh, that was Joe Schumacher.
Yeah, but again, it's you get somebody that doesn't give a fuck about the material, and it shows. You know.
Yeah, it did. You know, I mean, Jim O'Reilly said. Jim O'Reilly said she did nail the blind guy. Oh yeah, well she fucked Daredevil in her human
and
form.
then we'll make him do the walk of shame. See how smart we are. Cringe.
He's fucking blind. He's blind.
Fucking
and you're gonna send the blind guy out there? Here, you're blind. You go do the walk of shame after I fucked you. First off, he fucked her. I don't give a shit. She didn't fuck him. He fucked her.
Doesn't matter. Good. It's still fucking cringe. I mean, you wrote that entire thing around just to have that one scene, and it's just cringe. You know?
He would, but you know, in real life, Daredevil would have nailed She-Hulk as She-Hulk, and she'd still be her legs would still be quivering, like, how did he know?
And Daredevil digs deep.
Oh, Daredevil digs fucking big deep, green deep. That's how fucking far. He has that green. He doesn't. Not only does he have that green thumb that rub that clit, but he has that green dick that he goes planting all that shit. Planting his seed, baby. Woo! Bang, 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 bang. Just like fucking John Willis. Bang, 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 bang. And she's like, two inches to a yard. Happens to sound like a retard. They put themselves into the comic. It's not about the character. That is fucking true. Jim O'Reilly just put it on his fucking head. Jessica Gao wrote that fucking series like she was She-Hulk.
Of course.
So she must have a big fucking fixation on Charlie Cox or fucking Matt
Murdock.
I'm
sure she thought Charlie.
Oh, she probably masturbated to Charlie Cox like every fucking
she
time
had
he
a
showed up. Please.
Again, it's
break. Ew.
Yeah, it's just fucking lame. You know,
it is lame. It's super lame because it's like you're given this chance to to really cement yourself.
Yeah.
And this girl fucked it up.
But see, again, it's politics because she shouldn't have had that gig in the first place. You know, and that's what I don't understand. There's times when there is plenty of material that you can work from with somebody who gave a fuck about the material in the first place.
Yeah.
But they go, no, we want to give it. It's got to be a female director. Oh, this woman's done one, ad hoc movie somewhere. Okay, well that makes sense. Give her several millions of dollars to play with on shit she doesn't even know. You know.
Well,
look, there's plenty of male directors that would be wrong. There's plenty of male directors that would have been wrong. So it's not even about it being a female. It's just the fact that the person selected has no background, has no regard for material.
It's true. That's really fucking true. And that's a shame.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's the reason why we watch the material, because we know this material. And, and there's far less casual fans than people realize.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there's far less casual fans that are out there, or at the very least, they've heard of how the character's supposed to be. And guess what? You know, if someone is actually interested in picking up a fucking She-Hulk comic book,
yep.
which I know what Marvel does. What they do is they just put out the fucking reprint for the original, the original first issue. And guess what? You know, it's an entirely different fucking origin. And it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I thought she saved Bruce from a car accident that was hit by an alien.
Yeah,
How is it that she got shot by mobsters and the which is funny
yeah,
because Bruce,
exactly,
Bruce
exactly.
Banner's supposed to be so
Yeah.
fucking smart.
You
He's
just
like,
see get pissing off whatever people that would have done a deep dive into that. You know?
yeah, well, I'm gonna do a little deep dive in it. I mean, like Bruce Banner is one of the smartest men on the planet. What the is he really that dumb to hear? I'm gonna give her a blood transfusion, forgetting that my blood is radiated with gamma radiation.
Exactly, exactly.
You know, what the fuck are we gonna do now? You know, the only way that I'll tell you what, I was thinking of that not too long ago, and I was like, there's only one way you can fucking get away with that. There's only one way you can get away with that. Is if Bruce Banner shows up as Bruce Banner, you know, with that inhibitor that he had in Brand New Day,
Yeah,
yeah, whatever it is, and it was working. He was testing it out. You know, when he runs into his cousin, you know, and he's like, "Yeah, I was in the neighborhood. I figured I'd say hi." And she's like, "Oh my god, that's fucking great." You know, blah blah blah. You know, they hang out and they talk and they bullshit, right? And then the people who were gonna send over to like fucking kill her, you know, they both get hit.
right.
Now, Bruce Banner is still in his fucking, you know, he's still in his human form because he has that inhibitor and it's working really fucking well,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but while he's unconscious or anything, his wounds are superficial. Hers are a lot worse. So as they're doing this, you know, they're like, we can't find any fucking blood. We can't do anything like this. You know, they're trying to bring blood to. They have to. There has to be something with transfusion or some shit like that, where it's like these two bloods. This guy isn't as serious as her. We have no time, and then some doctor takes like some blood from Bruce and gives it to her.
Yeah,
In one way or the other, not realizing who the fuck it is that's giving blood.
sure, sure.
You know, so it's like, okay, we saved the patient. And then one doctor's like, holy shit, we got an Avenger here. He's like, well, who's the Avenger? That's Bruce Banner in there. It's like, wait a minute, that's Bruce Banner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's like, wait a minute. What do you mean that's Bruce Banner? That's Bruce Banner, you know, the Hulk, big green guy.
Yeah.
It's like, the guy that I just took blood from to give to her? You know, they're like, and they all have that expression on their face. They're like, you know, they're all looking at each other with horror, and all of a sudden, you know, Bruce hears this and he's like, wait a minute, what did you do? You know, and he's like, no, don't get mad. He's like, I'm not mad. And all of a sudden you hear someone like, rah! And it's his cousin who's like, She-Hulk, what the fuck have you done to me? You know, something like that.
Yeah.
Are we watching Lanterns? Nope.
No, I don't have HBO.
Well, can you blame her? He is dreamy. I met Charlie Cox. He's a pussy. No, he's not a pussy. I've actually met Charlie Cox in person. From the 3 or 4 minutes that I had a conversation with him, he seemed like he was pretty cool. I saw him.
I really enjoyed the Daredevil when it was on Netflix. I really did. I thought he was a really good Daredevil.
He was a great Daredevil. Fantastic Daredevil. Perfect. Just about as perfect as you can get. I mean, Marvel, I will admit, hit a lot of home runs with some of the casting that they've done. Even with X-Men, you know, the steal of all of those X-Men wasn't fucking Hugh Jackman. That was Kelsey Grammer. Beast. Dude, he fucking played Beast really well. I was like, oh, that's exactly how Beast would sound if he's gonna pick somebody out. And I'm like, oh, Jesus fuck, man, this is Fraser Crane on steroids. Holy fuck, man. No, he was great. He was excellent.
You're right.
I mean, he's conservative, which, you know, that's a big downer. But, you know, I'm just like, well, you know what? He did do a pretty good fucking job with doing this. You know, and I actually did like.
They had a great run of stuff because when they were building toward the Avengers and they were using the Ultimates as a template. Now they changed it because again you got to make some kind of modifications. Mm-hmm. But when they casted, you know, all the actors to play the characters, and you start looking at it going, this is gonna be this shit. Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury. Oh my god! And again, he visually looked like Nick Fury from the Ultimates. You know, again, you want to, you know, bust balls and like, oh, Nick Fury used to be a white guy, but in the Ultimates he was a black guy, and it worked in the story because now you can have, you know, Samuel Jackson play Nick Fury, and he was Nick Fury. He looked like the fucking character in the graphic novels. You know,
Dude, there was a line in one of the books where I don't know what it was or anything, but the subject was brought up, and it's like Nick Fury was like, if I was gonna if I wanted anybody to play me in a movie, it'd be Samuel L. Jackson. They paid fucking attention to that, and it's like Samuel L. Jackson is fucking Nick Fury. I'm like, fuck me, man. So thank you to the writer of the Ultimate Avengers. Holy shit, man, that was pretty nice of him to do. That is pretty nice of him to do.
Look, they started
recommend
the whole thing with Captain America jumping out of planes without a chute, and it fucking worked all the way through the series.
Well, of course it did, because it's Captain America. He can do anything.
Oh yeah, dude. Again, when we were kids, man, it was Iron Man, Hulk, and Captain America were my favorites. So anytime I picked up an Avengers book and they were all in it, I was sold.
Dark Bruce Banner, belted by gamma rays, turned into the Hulk. Fucking love that shit. Oh man, that was fucking hot. I love that stuff. All that superhero shit is just so fucking cool. It always has been cool, man. It just takes you away from whatever other shit is, and it's just like I that's just the one thing that I hate more than anything, is that there are people who become involved with it and claim to love it so much, but all they're doing is just putting in their bullshit agenda.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. Chris Chibnall was the guy who ruined Doctor Who for me all the way through.
Yep.
Because he made it gayer, and he made it even more gay. He was like, I'm going to turn Doctor Who on its fucking ear. And I'm like, yeah, you suck as a writer. So there you go. No wonder.
Yeah. Again, you ruined something that very established, had a fan base, and you just turned it all off. That's what you did.
He did. That's exactly what he did. He's a waste. So many of these people, Jessica Gao, while she's hot and she's a Chinese chick, and I'd love to put my dick in her, she was a fucking talentless writer.
Well, the same thing with Star Trek. You had the guy that was running Star Trek, and he ran into the ground every series. I mean, that unwatchable. All I did was watch the reviews of Starfleet Academy. Right, I saw one episode, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is horrendous."
It was bad.
Horrendous,
I can't watch it.
It's unfucking watchable. And again, I forgot the actress that played the captain. I liked her.
Holly Hunter.
20 years ago. I like Holly Hunter as a Star Trek captain. And then, of course, she's walking around barefoot all over the place because she's like this hippie, whatever. The fucking stop it.
I know.
So she's sitting in a command chair reading a book. Oh, go fuck yourself. And again, it's played out tropes on top of played out tropes on top of played out tropes. And that's why it failed. The fan base looked at that. All the hardcore Star Trekkies who want a new series looked at it and said, "Oh my God, they fucking just screwed the pooch."
What I didn't like about that series either, that I wouldn't bother watching, is they kept on hearkening back to all the former captains and first mates and all that shit. But thinking about it, this is in the 32nd century.
Yeah, 800 years later. Yeah.
800 years later. You mean to tell me that there wasn't anybody after that?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that it's like, okay, it stopped at the end of the show Picard, the last great ones, and then all of a sudden, blip, there's no one else.
It's funny. Back when, I remember a buddy of mine, both Trekkies, told me about Enterprise, right? When they're starting to lay out the groundwork and tell you what they were working on. And they're like, oh, they're going to do Star Trek before they meet the Klingons, before this, before that. I was like, what the fuck is the point? Why didn't they just have it the same timeline as the original Star Trek? That way you have the retro look. You already have a known universe. Yeah. But they could have been on the other side of fucking Federation doing shit. Yeah. Nope. We got to go back further. Then this stupid shit, Academy goes forward 800 years. I'm like, oh my God, seriously? You're making it, you're hamstringing yourself just to try to be away from everything else. It's just bad thinking. And again, it's just,
It was bad thinking, dude.
Too
It
many
was
people. Just like honestly, I honestly think like Marvel's part of Marvel's decline is that you have the same people that ran out of ideas
Mhm.
and now are trying to reinvent what they had 15 years ago. You know, after you went from having say 5 or 6 movies in 1 year to trying to put out 10 to 12, and they just watered it down because they were trying to whore it out as much as possible. And honestly, I gave up on, I'd say, before Endgame, because I didn't watch any of the Ant-Man because again, it was not one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Didn't care. I'm not a big Doctor Strange fan. I didn't care. So it's one of those things that at a certain point, I get it that it's almost like, remember in the 90s when they used to, for me, it was the killing of Marvel, when they would have one story that went across like 7 titles. So now they were forcing you to buy 7 different books that you might not normally buy. This is about the same time they started coming up with the alternate covers and the foil covers and all this bullshit they were trying to milk the fan base.
Yeah.
To me, it reminded me of that, where you had so much going on and there was so many characters. I mean, they gave Ant-Man 2 movies, 3 movies. I didn't watch one of them because at that point I was starting to tap out, And I think that's the problem. Even like, they've had a string of failures. DC can't fucking win one, And I just think people are tired of superheroes. They've grown up on it, and at a certain point, you are putting out a sub-product compared to what it used to be.
Yeah. It's true.
I watched this guy do a breakdown of Winter Soldier, right? It was the scene where Falcon, Captain America, Wasp, Black Widow, and the SHIELD agent turned Hydra agent were stuck in a car and they were being chased. And it was the whole fight on the overpass with Winter Soldier and his goons. And it's a fucking tight scene. It's that whole sequence is amazing. Even after all this time, I haven't seen it in a while. And you sit and go, how do you go from this to some of the shit they've been putting out, like the Marvels?
Oh God, the Marvels.
It's the root,
I can't.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't. I mean, I really honestly can't. Jim Morale says they murdered Star Wars too.
Oh yeah. Dude, every franchise has been jacked up for the same stupid thing.
I can't even. No, there's so many things.
I didn't even know.
I can't. I mean, the one thing that killed it for me was the Book of Boba Fett. The Book of Booby Fart. That's what I fucking called it. I actually had a few fucking reviews on it on social media where I talked about how terrible this fucking shit was. Where it's like there was a part where Booby Fart and all the sand people were trying to stop these smugglers from smuggling spice.
No, boy.
Now, okay, if we know our sci-fi, where the fuck do we get spice?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
They're not on Arrakis. Right. They're on Tatooine, which means that there's no fucking spice. No, you know what the most rare commodity on Tatooine is? Water.
Yeah.
All right, you want to make it really fucking hot and like really important. Use water as a fucking template. Okay? That's a great idea. There are no oceans on Tatooine, man.
I bailed on Star Wars with Return of the Jedi back in the day. I cut out of high school. Me and 3 friends cut out of high school to go see that out in Queens. Right? We took a subway all the way out to Queens to see that thing. And I was mad by the time the Ewoks came up and scarred because I stopped caring about Star Wars after that movie. I went back with my nephew and watched the reimagined Star Wars. I was like, okay, classic Star Wars. I'm going to love this. And when they went back and CG'd the introduction of Han, and he shoots forgot the character's name in the fucking bar, and they CG'd it. Greedo, and they CG'd that Greedo shot first. I was like, oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? You know?
It was bad.
And then that horrible thing where he has a conversation with the fucking big slug guy.
Oh, Boba Fett, yeah.
And he steps over him. And it looks like I'm going, holy shit, even Industrial Light Magic couldn't make this work, you know? And to me, it was like, when you go back, you just leave shit alone. Just leave it alone, you know? When I was a kid, I thought Han was a badass because he fucking just murked this guy in the bar under the table, you know? Nope, we got to change it around. Oh, for God's sakes, just leave it alone, you know? Just leave it alone. Nope.
They should have fucking. They should have just left it the way it is. You know, I mean, stop putting out so many different things with characters. No one
really tried to milk
a shit about. Yeah, I mean, it's like. I mean, the last thing that I saw of Boba Fett was like, Boba Fett, where? And he fucking hits him and he gets eaten by a Sarlacc.
Oh,
and I'm like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
and then think about it. Think how traumatizing that was. We were sitting there after Empire with that big cliffhanger ending, right? You're like, oh my God, we had to wait 3 years for Return to come out. And then Boba Fett, who's been built up as this badass fucking guy, gets knocked into the fucking sandworm thing, and that's it. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That was it. That was it. And I was like, well, that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I was so disappointed by that fucking third movie. I just didn't care after that. I didn't care about it. I mean, shit, that was like 15 movies after that. Didn't care anymore, you know?
Yeah, I didn't. It's like, I mean, they had a chance with The Force Awakens, but they just redid the whole. They just redid A New Hope on a planetary scale. That was it. And then they fucking, you know, Ryan Johnson, cock. I hate him. You know, he really essentially destroyed. And then fucking Palpatine showing up, and Rey is the fucking granddaughter of Palpatine.
Ugh.
What?
Yeah,
What?
Again,
This is how you destroy the whole fucking legacy of Star Wars. You let fucking J.J. Abrams and his fucking, you know, and his lens flares, you know, take over the fucking
Mr.
movie.
Lens Flare.
He's Mr. Lens Flare. That's what the fuck this guy is. It's like he puts it in everything. Oh man, I don't know, dude. I'm gonna get going because I gotta hit the gym. It closes at 9, and I gotta get up because I have to fucking get out of here at like 5:30. Well, I have to reach. I have to get to the bus at like 6:45.
Nice.
That's gonna suck, you know, because it takes 2.5 hours to get there by bus, and then I have to fucking. What else do I have to do? I'm gonna walk around London for a while. I have an event that I have to host. It's called Booty and Boobs, where there's gonna be a lot of boobs and a lot of booty being drawn, which is gonna be fucking amazing. I can't wait. And we'll see what the fuck happens. But anyway, thanks for showing up, man.
Yeah.
And fuck everybody else who didn't show up, cockbag.
Thanks, Jimmo.
Catch later. All right. Thank you for who would Palpatine get it on? With you and your fucking porn stash. Okay. Staten Island.